This is a Lost Vape utility. It's 100 watt. There we go. 100 watt clone type DNA 100C face. It's their own board there. And what we're going to do today is we're going to take off this panel here and here, and we're going to re-leather them. Quick breakdown, have a look at it. So to start, we're going to have to take some certain buttons and bits and pieces off this. So we're going to have to strip this down pretty quick. First thing you're going to have to do, take the battery out, obviously. So we'll just take the battery out and put it to one side. So take the battery out, get rid of that. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. So we'll take those out. They're pretty fine. Little screws here that you can see. So we'll just take those out. They're very fine screws. Put those down there. They are natural. I'm using a T6. It's the T6 Torx. Screws aren't actually pretty tight in there, but as you can see, they are pretty tiny. So we'll take those two out, and we'll take all of these out here. So just take those out, put them there. So we've done 4 on the top. We'll take the 4 at the base. So we've got 1 there. They're all the same length, and it's pretty delicate work. They're quite fiddly, but as you can see, they're quite easy to take out. Good firm pressure, and you'll take these out. So we'll just take those there. And I'll just take all these out here. There's 2 out of there, and then there's another one that's just dropped out. You're going to need some sort of container. And then we'll see if we can get this base out. Will this base come out? Little flat bladed screwdriver just to ease it out. There we go. Grab the sides there. That's it. The base is off. That there is your negative ring for your battery. Can you see that? Little battery, that's your negative ring. This here gives you connection clamps against it, and then you can see there, you can also see the juice around the base here as well. So we take out the next 4 on the sides. Keep a good grip of the mod itself, so just keep these going. And go on, let's take those out. That's another 2 out. And then another one. We're not going to do anything on the top. We don't need to. So that's those 2. Right, now if we lift that off carefully, you'll see a spring. See that spring there? That spring itself pushes against this button here. There's a button here. And that button pushes against the spring, which pushes against this mechanism and puts a clip in and out for your tank or your pod or whatever you've got. The front is the same, so we'll just ease that away. So we've got all 4. We've still got one there, look. See, so just take that out. We've got all the screws out now, and then we've got to do the same on this side. There's all your switches and screws. You can actually see the juice there. See it's on my fingers? This has had very small amount of use. So you're going to have to clean that up. Looks like the juice has come out of the actual pod itself along the top and run down the sides. Not the best. For those of you thinking if a DNA 100C would fit this, the board would in fact actually fit here, but that negative ring, that negative cable, see that cable there? Can you see that if we go in close? I don't know if you can see that. That is a tiny cable. The DNA 100C uses recommended 14 gauge, 16 gauge cables. That cable there for that negative is something like a 20. It would work. It wouldn't work very well, but it would work. So what we'll do now is we'll get some tissue and we'll try this out. Okay. So looking at this, let's just see if we can peel. We'll get that before that peels off quite well. And you can see, you can literally, this is literally covered in juice. This looks like it's been stuck on. What is this? I'm uncertain. It looks, it's leatherette. It doesn't look like leather. I mean, it certainly smells of juice, so, but it's like double-sided tape here that's been stuck on. So these are just a stuck-on panel in effect. But unfortunately, we're going to have to take the top off as well because we can't get to it. So now we go into the realms of 4 more screws. So you've got 4 screws in the top. These are normal Phillips self-tapping screws. So there's 2 there, and there's another 1 there as well. This is a clamping mechanism. So there's another 1 there as well. Let's have a look. So that's, there we go. So now this section here can come out. Let's pull that away. Yeah, this is your positive section, so we'll just push that down, and there we go. That has your negative, so if we push that through, that's, there we go, that comes off, and then we've got a cup. There's for your negative section, your positive pin inside. So now, hopefully, this should just come straight out like so. Now you can even see even more juice. See what's happened there? The pod or the tank has obviously leaked. Oh, I'll just take that spring off. And it's just filled. Quite common. Fill the mod up. So if we now take, there we go. Oh, look at that, covered. I think this has had, I've used this for a week, if that, week's worth. Nice. So there is the side panel. That's the side panel there. So we'll take, just dry that off a little bit. Now what we need to do is replicate this. Yeah, it's well, it sticks down easy enough. So we'll need another panel there. Sticking this on a cutting board like so, I can easily replicate another piece, or because it's sticky, I can put it onto a piece of leather. Now I was tempted to actually use this, which is a suede type leather, but judging by the amount of juice that's been pouring out of whatever pod or tank is in the top, this is not going to last that long. It's going to soak up the juice. So unfortunately, we can't use that. So we've got some nice leather here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this onto the leather, and I'm going to cut around it and make a section. So we've got the panels off now. They just peel off. It's just a bit of double-sided tape, so you can remove the excess if you want. We've dried out the mod. It's basically a plastic extruded carriage here, and quite ingenious how it's put together. And then we've got some aluminium sides, alloy sides and aluminium top. Get rid of all of that. These are your two panels. These were originally the black, silver highlighted black edition, but obviously you can see the black seems to have worn off completely. Double-sided tape on the back, and then put that. Not very nice looking. So what I'm going to go for is a black. I was hoping to do a different type of leather, but judging by how much juice is in it, I'd probably be replacing this pretty quickly. This is down to tanks leaking, pods leaking, that kind of thing. They do leak. So we've got some Napa leather here. This is chromium dyed. This is not vegetable tan leather. This is some nice Napa. So it's about 1.8 mil. Something like that. It's about the same thickness that's on the same here, which is important. Must be the same type of thickness. So we have, looking at the base, we've got a lip there, but we haven't got a lip at the top. So this panel needs to fit in the same place and wrap around like so, but it mustn't go over that lip. It must be in tight like that. We're going to try some double-sided tape, 3M tape here. We're going to try some of that to start with and see how that comes on. See if that'll stick down. We've also got some impact adhesive, Unibond. That's a non-drip gel, which we could try, but we're going to go for the tape first. So I covered both of the backs of the two leather panels here with some 3M double-sided tape. Just laid it on, cut it out. A bit boring for me to show you how to do that. It's quite simple. You could use a Stanley like so, or you can use a pair of scissors, but as long as it's pushed down tight. You might want to actually clean this up. A bit of methylated spirits or a little bit of alcohol on here just to get rid of anything, but I haven't got any of that lying around, so we're just going to plow on as a real world type of situation. So we've got that here, so we've got this panel here. So what I want to do is I want to peel off the backing on the 3M tape, which is always tricky. So we've got some 3M tape there, and then we're going to push that into the section at the base like so, and we're going to, yeah, that's sticking quite nicely. We're going to put that around like that, and then we're going to push it in as best we can. We'll get it nice and tight into the gaps here. Got a bit of 3M tape inside. I'll just do that. Push that around. Push that in there like so. And then we'll do the other side, and let's see how this will look. I'll peel that off there, and then get that into the base, into that lip there, and then we'll just push that round and bend it round, and like that on the top. Push it in. Might be a little bit out on that side. I might have done it a little bit out, so we might have to redo this side. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, let's get one of the back panels and then put it into place. That'd be like that. So it looks like we're going to be. Looks like it's going to be okay. Yeah, it looks like we're going to be around that one. Let's take that switch out. Are we going to be okay on that one? I think we're going to be okay on that, so we'll do that. Okay, well, we'll start reassemble. Right, working from the top, you can see that I've put that around like so. So that's pushed, leather's tucked underneath, it's like a clamping mechanism. So I put the top on, make sure the positive pin still works. So that's there like so. Okay, so what we need to do now is put the screws back in, which are very difficult to see. So we'll put the screws back inside here on the top, one at a time. Screw those down, and then we'll start to redo the sides. 4 screws are screwed back in. Top looks good. Top looks good there. That's nice. Obviously we got the sides here, and it's not perfectly symmetry square, as somebody might make a comment and such. I'm not really bothered about that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hook on the back side. So we're going to put the actual little clip, the button here goes in the top of there like so, that fits flat. And the way this works is you can see a lip. See the lip here? That lip lips into the top of the mod. So this is the back side. So that goes in. You have to lip it into that section there. Make sure that's down. So you have to push at the same time and then just put that in. So we're going to have to do that a bit more. Oh, we're out. So we put the back panel on now. So this side panel rather is on, or the back you could call it. I have to push in a little bit because the leather is there. It's easy. You have to push it in quite tight. And we'll do the front panel. And the front panel is very similar. And the top of here, there's a little nib out. And then there is a cutout. So this has to clip in. So you've also got the problem of all the buttons in situ as well. So if you get it and clip it in, and it clips in like so, and then you have to run the nail down a little bit just to push any leather that's outside that. So just run that down like so, on the back, and then we'll put that in like there. Hold it at the base because it's been held on by the clip. Just check all the buttons work. That's okay. So we'll keep that together, and then what we'll do then is we'll put it's a little bit on the fiddly side. We'll put the 4 torques back in. Now that's what happens. So I'll hold this, keep it on the flat, put the screws in. And we've got both sides on here now. So we've got that. I'll just put the base on. So we're going to screw that down. I've put 2 screws in so far, so I'll put a couple of others in. Screws are incredibly fiddly to get them back in. Plus your hands are now covered with residual juice from the mod, which doesn't help. So we'll put those in and screw them, pull the sides in and tighten them down. And then we'll do the back as well. So keep those sides in. And then screw them down again. Okay, we'll go over it once again. Make sure the buttons work. They will click, so that means they're connecting. Look at that. So you can see that now. It's all black, rather than that nasty, whatever this was. Looks like PVC type leatherette. So we've got some proper leather on there now. Put the battery in, put the cap on. There we go. Check atomizer. We've got a pod type tank system here. push that on. Yep. On a scale of 1 to 10 on spannerability, I would say this is probably around about a 6, could be a 5. Easy enough to do. Issues I had was the leather has got to be cut to the sides here, but if your side panels are looking awful, and you can easily put it in, but the leather's got to be almost exact, so could be done better, could also be done worse, but it's rejuvenated the panels, and that was the purpose. Like, subscribe, comments. Talk to you again soon.